And so, yeah, then I punched everyone in the face and I took over the entire universe. And that's the end of the campaign. Good night, everybody.
Oh man, that was a fantastic ending. I really hope we. Wait! Fuck! Guys, I didn't record it! Oh god, we're gonna have to start over again. Alright, well.
No!
I guess you three are standing around this card with an emblem of a devil on it, and the captain is looking back at you over his shoulder, just like he was that other time when we were starting and did that whole campaign. I think we did this joke before.
Did
I
we?
don't know.
I don't know. Well, anyway, all three of you are standing in a vaguely green and gray tinted metallic hallway on a ship. Sorry, not a ship, a station that has now fixed its rotation thanks to you all, and there is an officer of the law waiting for you to catch up.
Nyx is kind of looking at the card in her hands and then puts it away, shrugging it off, and goes to catch up with the captain.
Okay, nobody says anything else, so I'm presuming all three of you just do this. You're back with the captain and Jonathan, the young red-haired sprout. Now the plan is to have all three of you board the shuttle and head over to Cirrus Station. We'll be there within the hour, now that we're back on schedule. Alright. And I suppose you do. You walk down the corridors to another receptionist desk where somebody is waiting, however they're wearing the same armor that Jonathan is, and they salute the captain as he enters, and all three of you are ushered in. And now you have reaccrued a small collection of guards that are watching you, including Jonathan, and I believe Cassidy and Killian have been around. Beacon is slowly coming to her senses, but she's very dazed and very confused and not very much awake yet. And she's
Nyx is absolutely glaring at her.
She's cuffed. And she's being carried by Jonathan. Eventually they find like a wheelchair and they put that. That becomes their new mode of locomotion as you guys enter down a hallway that seems to be closed off to normal residences. You leave behind the marketplace with all of its hustling, bustling people and the various colors and hues and shapes and sizes of clothing that you've come to know and love. And you disappear down corridors, and you look out the window and you see a small, I say small because it's smaller than, say, the frigate that you guys have been looking out the window at this entire time, but still a very large, like a shuttle, like, you know, the NASA kind of shuttle. It's very angular, very plain, very white and gray with blue stripes along here and there, and engines that hum with a blue light. Connecting it to the station is a long docking arm. And Captain Azura ushers you down this long glass hallway. You follow him down, his cape's licking at your ankles as you step maybe a little bit too close, and you look down and around you, and you see the entire planet stretched up below and all of its deserts and seas. And you look behind you, and you see the giant station still spinning its different circles in different directions as you leave that behind as well. You enter into the shuttle. Everything seems pretty fine. There's several chairs that line the walls with straps and belts as if it's going to be going someplace real fast. And you sit down in three chairs against the walls, and several people disappear into another room that you presume to be the cabin area. And Captain Azura sits with you guys in this cargo room, the belly. It's just one big room, not very large, no bigger than, say, like a subway train. He sits opposite you with his arms crossed. Jonathan is standing and he's prepping something. He's pulling switches and getting cables and cords. And if anybody wants to do anything, feel free to interrupt, but I'm just going to keep on going. Eventually a yellow light turns on, and Jonathan walks over to all three of you in turn and makes sure all of your straps are on. Something descends over your head just like a roller coaster, and a few buckles are pulled. They click softly. Same for Captain Azura. His arms are still crossed just over this thing.
Consistent.
And before you leave, the captain speaks up. You said you had a starship.
Heck yeah.
Yes, you also said that it was being rented out here.
Yes.
Indeed.
Can we take it with us?
I don't think it can fit on the ship.
Okay, well, if you're gonna detain us, can you at least, like, if you detain us for more than a month, could you, like, pay for the rent space?
Where is the ship being kept? We'll move it to one of the Cirrus cargo hangars.
Sweet. Can we just, like, give him location and keys?
Yes.
He points to Cassidy Jones, and she holds out her hand for the keys.
I give
think-
keys.
I think I have the keys because I'm the name. It's under my name.
Maybe
then you give the keys.
Okay, you give her the keys. And then she walks back down the hallway and goes to get your ship.
Handle with care.
She's a professional pilot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to worry about a thing. Alright, then there's some pressurizing sounds, and the cables begin to detach. The tunnel pulls away from the top, and there's a moment where you guys are just starting to get a little woozy and lightheaded as you start to lose gravity, and the ship becomes free-floating in orbit around the planet below. And then you feel another lurching feeling in your guts as something starts to rev up. And now you're moving.
Whoa!
Yep. You go for maybe 45 minutes before being able to look out one of the skylight-like windows, and you see this, once again, gigantic structure. And I don't want to overstate it because it's hard to compare with things, but Jacob Station, pretty fucking big. Large. Like an airport in space. This, city in space. 4 rings. Absolutely giant. Miles across on their own, and tremendously thick. Are all spinning in opposite directions of each other and are adjoined in the middle by an axis. An imaginary axis, though. They're not actually floating around anything like a wheel. They're just floating together in opposite directions. And as you get closer, you see that the outside edges, just pure gunmetal, steel, thousands of different cables and pipes and who knows what. Inside, you see green, you see blue, you see whites of like clouds, you see like a whole ecosystem running along the inside edge rim of this station. In the center, you see towering out of these various rings is, well, a tower. White and gleaming, and it goes all the way up to the dead center of each of these different wheels, and you see various ships moving in and out of them, and coming up alongside of you very quickly, overtaking you, and its shadow casting you in darkness is another very large frigate. Similar to the one that you guys saw attached to Jacob's Station, but a little bit smaller. Bristling on its sides are dozens of gun barrels. And it speeds on past, leaving a trail of white behind. And as you take in these beautiful sights, you get closer and closer to the rings, heading towards that central tower, and you eventually just connect with it. You can look all around you in every direction, and to the... I don't really think cardinal directions work in space, but to your left and right, you see the inside parts of the rings, and if you look straight out of this donut-like structure, you are looking down at the planet below of Sargasso. You might be right above where Tenby is. Kind of hard to tell. There's another hissing sound as pressurization reoccurs again, and you are all of a sudden detached from your chairs. The roller coaster-like restraints retract, and you are floating. Captain Azura points towards the tunnel, once again made of glass, but much shorter this time. And it leads into another large space where a lot of people are moving around, hustling and bustling, but these people are all formal. They're all dressed in various Lunaris-like garb. They're either wearing repair overalls, or armored themselves, or just generic clothing. But no matter what, it's all relatively formal. These people all seem to have a task that they're doing to maintain something. You see other people moving to and from other shuttles that, as you can see, are lining the walls, hanging like bats upside down. And you are free-floating towards what looks to be a small section that's devoted just to elevators. And you have probably seen one before, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about an elevator, but you get inside, it's pretty spacious, and you head down. There's a
I
window.
feel massively overdressed. Or underdressed, rather.
You are wildly underdressed. Captain Azura in his beautiful cape suddenly fits right in.
Damn.
What about me and my parka?
People are like wondering if you're lost, but that doesn't even make any sense because how could you be so lost that you wound up on a space station? Admittedly, the parka is probably like the nicest piece of clothing that you have, considering you're mostly made of tires and car.
Well, I mean, you know, nice cars.
Like a Ferrari. Maserati.
Like a Bugatti.
Ooh, nice.
Porsche?
Your booty covered in that Bugatti.
Yeah.
Alright, as the windows go by, you see several slits that just go vroom, 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 as you descend down. You're getting closer and closer to the bottom of the rings, and bottom is definitely subjective because you can look up out the window and you see the ring. You see countryside. You look up and you see what looks to be a river going all the way around the inside. There's even, I don't want to say mountains, but very tall hills that seem to reach up into the skies. And you're heading down, and as you head down, you're slowly losing your sense of zero gravity and regaining a sense of weight. The closer you get to the edges, the heavier you become. Eventually, you're just standing on the floor again. Captain Azura's cape no longer flowing wildly in the space around him.
Aww.
It's just you and him and Jonathan, by the way. You and him and Jonathan. Yeah, that makes sense. Second person narrative. The door's open. You're in a large train station. Now, I want you three to be on your best behavior, the captain says as you're walking towards the nearest white-colored bullet train.
I salute him. Aye, aye, Captain.
He makes a look like he's sneering, but he doesn't say anything. You get onto this bullet train and it lurches forward, and no one else seems to be on the train. You're going fast and furious down this suspended bridge of steel that overarches across valleys and green and trees, and you see towns that are more like cities, very tall structures, very vertical like cities around here, and it doesn't seem to ever stop. It just seems like they just disappear off into the horizon, which curves up. So your vision gets obscured similarly to a horizon would after, like, I don't know, I would say less than a few miles, but it's by clouds rather than the curvature of an Earth.
Nyx looks over at Captain Azura. Was this modeled after anything in particular?
Modeled? You're gonna have to be more specific, miss.
The station. Was it built similarly to anywhere? Or was it just a random architectural choice?
All of the stations are built for the most part from the same general idea. Polaris, Cirrus, Rigel, they all have a similar design, and that's to use a large wheels connected to each other. And from there we have everything else. Admittedly, these things are ancient. I'm not quite sure where they got the plans from. They were here before I, or you, or even Councilor Mira. In fact, we're lucky that we have enough people who know how to run them.
It's not that difficult.
Many of it's a mystery to even our top engineers. Unfortunately, there's a lot of data missing. It was a shame. Pavo Station was closest to getting all of the information on these structures. Perhaps with a little bit more time, they would have had a breakthrough.
Yeah, they were close. How convenient.
Up ahead, out the window, you see a large, white, cylindrical structure with a large rooftop that slopes up like a cone, and there are several tiers of roofing. Similar in style, like architecturally, to like Japanese buildings, how they have tiers of rooftops, except not. It's much more all white plastics, very sleek, very very glam. Half of the side is covered in beautiful large windows, and you see people moving around as you get closer and closer. This train seems to beeline directly to this large structure. Now, I'm not certain for what reason Councilor Maya wanted to talk to you specifically. If I were her, I would have simply taken what she wanted and left you in the jails, but if you will be so kind, perhaps as a favor to myself, as to simply be agreeable, that would be most fortunate for myself. Your
You won't
tunnel.
tarnish your reputation.
Oh, he pinches the bridge of his nose. Jonathan shrugs. Jonathan looks excited, actually.
Can I hold out my fist to Jonathan?
He fucking fist bumps you. He's like, "Fuck, man." You hear Jonathan's like whispering to Aurelia, but all three of you, everyone can hear in this car. But Captain Azura is pretending he can't. I've never actually been to this station before.
Dude, man, I've never even been in space.
Me neither. This is so cool.
I know. Oh my god.
Wow.
Never gets old.
When I was young, I never thought I'd see something this cool.
Dude, are you kidding? Same here. I came from the sands as well. It's just like, oh my god, you never think you're gonna see space.
Oh man, I've never even been past New Pavo.
Aww.
Oh god. Did I leave the stove on? And then your train disappears into a tunnel built into the side of this large cylindrical structure and all goes black. And then quickly some yellow lights beam in through the sides. You feel the train lurching to a slow stop. And then it does. And the doors open. You're in a rather dark tunnel compared to the overall sunshiny atmosphere outside. Get out.
Next
Alright,
up.
damn.
And you do. And you move down oh man, this is not a station. It does not seem to be like a proper stop. It seems to be like no one else is around besides maybe one or two little Roombas. Sad and confused. They're almost excited when you show up because you're leaving dirt behind and they suddenly have a purpose.
Aww. Roombas are cute.
Jesus.
Is it like that
The
little
only
robot
kind of
from
pet that
WALL-E?
Nyx would have.
Is it that little robot from WALL-E that has like the little like scraper and then it, like follows WALL-E around because he's leaving
A little,
dirt?
yeah, kind of like that. A little bit shorter, a little bit more squat. But they do have like two LEDs for eyes, and they look bright and cheery as you show up.
That's so cute.
This is a moment for me to test something real quick, actually. Let's see here. The door slides open, and you are greeted with a metallic steel chrome finished face with two blue eyes. Good afternoon, Captain Azura. I see you
God.
brought guests. Side question, did that actually work?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Is there anything I can do for you today? That
You
will
promised me a coffee.
roll a persuasion check.
It's not persuasion, it's true.
You have to persuade Captain Azura to actually follow through with it. Oh, fuck.
Coffee, bitch.
Captain Azura just goes, yes, if you will be so kind, K-17, please fetch this young man a coffee.
Thank you.
I'll get right on that, sir. One moment, please. And this metal man, roughly like 5'8", it's really tall, but it's very well finished, and he's even wearing like I'm gonna say clothes. It's kind of like a white tunic with lots of folds. Very very Romanesque, really. He's got some metal arms, metal legs, and he's got some beautiful sandals. Once again, white leather that are wrapped around his shoes. And he's not walking very rigidly. He's got like a pretty natural flow to him, but you do hear like a soft whining sound of motors as he turns around and walks back down the blue and white tiled metallic walled hallway. And at the very end of the hallway, and he turns right at a T-junction, and you see several people, some with white coats, another person with a cape walking by, and someone has a clipboard or two. You seem to be in a building with scientists, perhaps.
Nyx shifts uncomfortably.
This way. Jonathan is following in caboose. Captain Azura is leading the way, and the three of you come to the T intersection. And Captain Azura seems to stop and like, wait a second? And then he turns right, and you follow after him again. And Jonathan quickly jogs up ahead, and him and Azura seem to be talking about something quietly.
I'm gonna roll to over here.
Go for it. Roll. This is like a test of senses. It's not perception. It's not investigate. Insight or investigation? We'll do one of those two. I mean, yeah, all right. Or survival, I guess. Survival would be like a test of skill, I think.
Insight, because I have +4 in it.
Sure.
And
You know what? You can't really make out what they're saying. They seem to be doing a pretty damn good job of like keeping really hushed, and Jonathan's even seeming to like cover his mouth so you can't read his lips. You do hear something about the counselor, but you can't quite figure out what it is that they are talking about. As you do, you see several people walking by you, and they're once again in lab coats, and they seem to be carrying like boxes and beakers, a clipboard or two. And you look to your left, and you see behind a window, a big window, like a lab room with people working on various projects. Someone's standing over a vat with a lot of smoke. Someone's standing over like what seems to be some kind of computer. And that just is all on your left. It seems like this hallway goes a very long time, and just that's what's to your left the entire time. To your right, you see a few windows as you're walking down this curved hallway, I should specify, because you're on the outside edge of this building, and you look out and you see green. You see green and trees, and if you didn't know better, you would swear that just looked like any other normal meadow on, well, not meadow on Sargasso, but a normal place. But as you look far enough into the distance, you see a large wall looming. That's where the sidewalk ends. To the left and right, the world curves up.
Is there like any signs that say like what they're working on?
You know, a few. I feel like I should make you do like some kind of. I'm gonna make you roll. I'm gonna give you an answer no matter what, so don't worry. But I'm gonna roll to see if you get like extra information. So roll perception, Aurelio. Let's see a nice, good perception check. Okay, yeah, you look around and you see all the coats of the people walking by, say, Aldebaran Labs, whom you might have heard before. Definite maybe. It depends on if somebody's going to remember the flavor text of some of the things that they bought at the stores. Not that they will. You see
What does it say on their card?
Aldebaran.
Yeah, I have a fucking coffee pot from them full.
They make and you look inside one of the windows and you see like the greatest coffee pot that you've ever seen. It's like it's like a coffee orb, really. It's like a glass ball and injecting steam and mocha, some caramel blitz. It looks
My mouth is watering.
It looks beautiful, but also like unnatural. They're playing with things beyond our ken. And with a 16, Aurelio, there's a lot of doors along these walls. None of them look locked.
I open all of them.
Yeah? You want to try and slip that in? You want to do a slippy dip, Aurelio? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I want to do a slippy dip. Let me roll for a slippy dip.
All right, well, roll. Tell me how you're gonna slippy dip. You got Captain Azura and Jonathan walking very slowly ahead of you, and you're in the back, and they're talking amongst themselves, and you've decided
Yeah, they're talking.
To just...
They're talking to each other.
Okay.
I'm in the back, and I see a door.
I'm gonna make
and
you.
I want to open it.
All right, you slide it open, and it doesn't make a sound. But I think I want to make you roll stealth. Otherwise, you're gonna start doing things that don't make any much sense. I want to see how this goes. Oh my god, Aurelio, you like look behind you, and then you look ahead of you, and you see nobody, and you don't even know where that robot went. And then you open one of the doors into this big lab, and you step very quickly through, and you just snatch a lab coat right off the off the hook nearby the door, and you slap that baby on, and nobody bats an eye.
Oh my god.
God. We're gonna get tossed out.
And
Abram
Aurelio
sees him when he returns. He's just like
you
he just
two,
stares at him.
Oh no! You guys have to keep walking, or else Captain Azura and Jonathan will.
No,
notice.
don't worry. I didn't stop. I'm just like okay.
Nix and Abram, you look to your left, and you now see a red mohawked man, just kind of looking around. And Aurelio, I do want to warn you that the GMs do appear on the video, but I don't think that these two will watch it anyway, so that's okay. The answer? No. Mostly robotics. Do you want to roll a insight or what's something that would be for like loot? Oh, I'm gonna say insight. Are you proficient at that? Ooh, yeah, sleight of hand. Do that. That's great. Sleight of hand if you're looking for them goodies. Aurelio and Abram and Nix, you look to your left and you're still walking down the hallway. He rolled so high that you didn't even see him go away, but you look and you see an orange mohawk, and he's walking, keeping pace with you, but he's on the other side of this glass wall in a lab coat, walking. Aurelio, you like navigate around and you're looking, and like somebody like nods at you, and they're like, "Oh."
I nod.
Yeah, you nod at that. Okay, they look back at their clipboards and they 100% believe it. And you walk up and you see that fancy coffee pot. You see like a I don't know how to, roughly softball-sized mechanical blue and dark silver. I don't want to say an orb, more like a cylinder, and it seems to be pulsating with blue energy, and it looks valuable, and it also looks useful. There's a computer next to it. Do you want to attempt to read?
Yeah. Let me attempt to read.
Guess what, guys? I did not anticipate that this was going to happen tonight. Roll an insight. What would be reading? Is there like a language skill? I really got to learn the D&D 5th edition reading skills.
I have proficiency in Sargossan.
I'll allow it. They wouldn't write it in like Latin or anything. Or what are you proficient in? Deception, stealth, sleight of hand, persuasion. Unfortunately, none of those things. Roll. Yeah, we'll do insight. Why not? Or investigation. That's even better. I don't think it matters too much. This is a semantics thing.
Can I add my proficiency to Sargossan?
You know what? This time, that sounds pretty good. Why not?
Oh,
I mean, you look at it and it's a weapon. It's sitting in like a glass cage almost, and at the very end of this long, like maybe 4 foot long guinea pig cage kind of thing that this orb is resting in, like a cradled baby, is like a target, and it's scorched. But you try to read over the files, and there's just too many, and they're using like really big sciencey words, like
I don't know what that is.
yeah,
then.
it's like ionization, like some kind of like I don't know what it says.
I don't know what that is. Sounds cool though.
It's small enough to try and carry, but I'm gonna make you roll a sleight of hand to see if anybody notices.
Yeah, that's cool. I got plans. I'll take it.
Okay, roll sleight of hand. Did you guys think that Aurelio was going to impersonate a doctor tonight? I didn't. You just slide it right inside of your. You have bags, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean I have deep pockets in my lab coat.
You're right. You got
too.
deep pockets now. So you take that device and you slide it right on in.
Cool. Do I see anything else like medicine wise, or
Medicine.
they're all just like weapons and stuff?
Mostly weapons.
Or like prosthetic, maybe.
Prosthetic. Yeah, I'm gonna say that you do see kind of like a I'm gonna roll to see how useful it is. Ooh, you just find a fucking med kit. Like you see some kind of newfangled medication with like testing out. Yeah, all right. You're gonna have to roll. I'm gonna make you roll sleight of hand for every individual thing that you steal, but you're really fucking good at that, so I don't feel bad about it. Yeah, all right.
Fine.
You slide it in.
And it's really useful for what?
It's just it's a med kit. It's a first aid kit, just like the ones that you could buy from the store. It's like got
So like 2d4.
Yeah, 2d4 or 1d8, I think was what it was. Either way, you get 2 uses out of it. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Mark that down.
Yeah, I'll mark it down in my notes because I don't have a pencil.
Mm-hmm. Just don't forget about it. And now I'm going to roll a quick perception check on somebody. Someone walks up to you, Aurelia.
Hold on.
Okay. Wow. I'm in anticipation. The DM. This is a power play.
I don't know what the weapon's called, so it's just orb danger in my notes.
That's totally fine. Maybe someone else might know. Who knows? Someone walks up to you with a clipboard, and they look very young, with big, thick glasses and brown hair, very tightly cropped and parted on the left side. Meanwhile, Abram and Nix, you're watching in horror as you walk and just watch, and that's all you can do. You can't do anything else. Oh my God! And the young man says, "Hello, Dr. Strauss. I'm an intern here. Someone told me to talk to you." And you look down at your lab coat, and it indeed says Dr. Strauss on the nameplate.
Huh. Well, yes. What did you need to talk to me about, sir?
Oh yeah, well, you see, I don't know where I'm going. I'm supposed to be part of the robotics R&D department, and I can't quite figure out where it is. Can you point me in the right direction, please? I'm sorry. I feel very silly making this. You're an important doctor. I'm wasting your time.
Oh, please don't worry. You know, I was just like you once upon a time. Just no problems. Did I happen to see any maps on the walls as I was walking through here?
Roll perception, and we'll see if you did. I didn't mention any, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't looking for him. Let's see a number bigger than. No, you got no idea.
Okay, well, I got this. So this might take a deception check, but I mean, it's not like he knows where he's going, so.
It's deception with advantage, whatever you say.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, so what you have to do is, see, the area that we're in right now is where we test all of the robotics, as you've probably gathered by now. But if you go out the door that leads into this room, right, you probably came in, it's from the main hallway. If you go out through that door, right, you're going to be in the hallway where it has all these doors. So we are on the right side.
He's like taking notes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we're on the right side of the hallway. If you go across the hall to the left side of the hallway, the door straight opposite from here, that will be the R&D section.
In the B wing.
And yes.
Okay, yeah, indeed. All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, and yeah, you just go that way, and you should be all set. And then try to find one of the group leaders there, and they will.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And he's like bowing, and he's like, I'm a huge fan of your work. Who could have possibly known that rats could bend that way?
It blew my mind too. Listen, I was not expecting.
All right, roll deception with advantage.
I don't need it.
Yeah, he's beaming. He's like, thank you. Can I have your autograph?
I can't write. All right, let's do this.
Oh yeah,
Dr.
I forgot.
Strauss, do you want me to like write it on
you
roll 20 to see what it looks like?
You roll the yeah. I would love to see that actually. I'm gonna back up my camera view so that I can see it. We're still in the hangar.
So my name was Dr. Strauss.
Your name is Dr. Strauss.
Okay. Oh wait, it won't let me. Oh, I guess I have to use the mouse. Hold on.
Oh, it won't let you do something else. Oh my God.
That looks like doctor handwriting.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh
You're right.
Incredible.
It's with a roll 20 deception. You put enough you took enough time to make it seem like you were writing real letters, but with enough cursive involved, so that the young man just like smiles and nods. He can't read that at all, and he just like thank you, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you. And then he just walks off down the hallway exactly where you
follow
you
your
told him
dreams.
to go. He waves and turns around and follows his dreams. He does.
I feel so bad. I don't know who that kid was.
Aurelio,
Oh my
what's the
God.
next plan here?
I'm trying to erase what I wrote on the screen.
Yeah, it's too late. It's just there now. Don't worry about it.
My next course of action is to immediately remove the name tag.
Fuck. All right. Yeah, you take the name tag off and you stick it in your pocket along with the.
Someone's gonna be like, "You're not Dr. Strauss."
Anything else?
Yeah. How did I bend the rat?
You'll never know, Dr. Strauss. Now, is there anything else?
Please come back to the group.
Yeah, I guess I look for the exit that
Okay.
leads out to the group.
It's been one long room, and there's been like doors periodically on the right side that lead back into the hallway. They're like situated every 50 feet or so. And
Okay.
so you take off the lab coat and you put it back on the hanger, and you quickly open the door and slide it shut, and you're right back next to
I
neighbor.
would like to point out that this lab coat is on over my parka.
you look
Oh my
you look
God.
very fat, and you know what?
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Strauss looks like.
Yeah, it's great.
Holy shit.
I just have the med pack and the danger orb
The
in
mysterious danger cylinder.
my basket.
Okay.
I guess I don't know.
Nix and Abram, do you have a reaction to this?
I just say, "Stop, guys."
Ugh. She just focuses on what's going on ahead of her.
Aurelio?
I just take a sip out of my coffee and I keep walking.
Oh, you don't have your coffee yet.
Oh, I didn't get my coffee yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, I inquire about my coffee.
Aurelio, you get an inspiration die if you don't already have one.
Thanks, man.
If you do, yeah, well, you can only have one at a time, but it's the thought that counts.
No, I don't think I do.
Alright, you guys keep walking down the hallway, and eventually you get to another T intersection, and this time the captain tries to go left, and he's met with a robotic face, holding a coffee. Your coffee, sir.
Oh, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
This is great.
Did you need cream?
Oh, I would love some cream.
He gives you, how many cream?
Oh, 2 cream.
All right, he opens up 2 cream and he puts it in your coffee and then stirs it, and then he puts the lid back on and hands it back to you. It's in a lovely like reusable like cup. It's like recycled.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how thirsty you can get going down that hallway.
It was a very long
I
hallway.
bet.
Aurelio's just smirking. Like he's just like
I'm sorry, I never introduced myself. My name is K17. That is my number designation.
oh, can I like give him a handshake?
You give him a handshake.
Yeah, I'm Aurelia. You can call me Leo. Nice to meet you.
He seems to join your group. Captain Azura did not slow down, and Jonathan and him are now leading you guys down this hallway that's now heading towards the center of the dome, rather than walking around the outer edge of it. There's no more windows that lead outside as you're entering closer and closer to this dome. I'm sorry, what'd you say to K17?
Says nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you too, sir.
Nice.
Are you perchance the prisoners?
That would be us.
What? I prefer not to be mentioned as a prisoner.
I'm sorry. Detainees.
Sure.
That's not any better.
Fugitives.
That's the best we're gonna
Not
get
any
next
better
door. That
either.
K1,
Just
knock it
call
off.
yes.
The robot.
I would like to be called Danger Squad. Thank you.
Oh my
Oh
Name accepted, permanently and forever.
no!
Your counselor, the Danger Squad, is here.
You guys finish walking down the hallway, and at the very end, you see a lonely and dimly lit elevator.
Oh, that's the
This
final
is where
boss.
Azura goes to cry.
He's crying as we speak. You all get on the elevator. By the way, I should probably just mention at this point that Beacon is obviously left behind at this point. Like there's a patrol officer that comes as you guys are getting onto the elevator, and the Beacon who has formerly been passed out, she's starting to come to now. And this person who's wearing a helmet. They seem to be dressed in full combat attire for whatever reason. And they've got a beautiful purple sash that runs around their neck and also another one around their waist, which is something that you haven't seen. And they take the wheelchair with Beacon. And now it's just you guys along with Captain Azura and Jonathan and K17. And unless you, like, I don't know, karate chop Beacon in the throat before you guys descend, he presses...
I don't know,
mean,
This is... I don't know if anybody had anything they
She
want to say, but...
She says, don't give her any technology.
Understood, ma'am. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. The door shuts on Beacon.
Wait, she's like stuck in the door?
She's been,
Oh my
she's
God.
been
This
decapitated.
wheelchair-bound girl.
No, the door shuts and she just disappears behind it. Captain presses a button on the elevator. It's at the very, very bottom top. The bottom top. It's very
bottom.
The bottom. It's like it's a long
Yes,
string of
I
numbers.
know that direction.
Yeah, and at the very end is something listed as CMD. And he presses it, and that's the only one he presses. And then you feel the elevator go down.
Ooh.
Elaborate.
She looked like she was injured. She should get some medical attention.
You get a lot of
just,
different medical attention.
Nah, just let her walk it off.
Somebody want to roll a perception check? Only one of you can do it, so you have to decide who.
Not me.
oh my God.
Perception, I have... Where is perception?
It's
I
wisdom.
have a +2, so I probably should do it. Unless Abram...
I have proficiency and +2.
Go for it.
Do you not have?
do it.
Oh, okay.
I only have a +2.
Oh, okay.
I don't have proficiency.
Let's see if I die today.
Oh boy.
I do not die today.
Woo!
Abram, you gently glance over at the robot that is K17, and and because you've had like a little bit of interaction with maybe Nyx, and you've got like a bit of a feeling for like the kind of technology of like prosthetics and robotics like emulating limbs, you notice that this fucker is armed.
Oh, God.
Inside of his forearms,
Where?
you can see that there's a long, slender blade in the recesses of his forearm. And his
Does he know I love him?
on the other arm is a retractable auto gun.
Is it similar to mine?
Oh man, I
Okay.
got a thing stuck in my
You
throat.
killed DM.
Gone.
Phew, and he has a gun in the other arm, just like Nyx's. Retractable.
Hmm.
It's a much larger caliber, however, since it doesn't need to make as much room. It's a bit more hollowed out inside of his forearms. But yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't need nerve endings.
Indeed. This robot cannot feel. How sad.
Wow, hey, let's not go there.
The elevator stops. And it opens, and you see a dark room with like hundreds of blue lights, and you look around and you're in a large circular like command center. Below you is what appears to be like windows looking out into space. There's people with helmets on. There's people who are sitting at stations and computers all circled around this central area in the dead center of the
I have
room.
a very important question.
Mhm.
Is one of them playing solitaire?
Roll perception.
I need to know this information.
One of them is playing Galaga in the background.
Yes!
God.
But otherwise it
Okay,
looks
my lips-
very impressive and everyone's very serious. And there's just hundreds of people bustling around, papers, doing some work. This way, please. And K-17 leads you, including Captain Azura, towards the center of the room, where there seems to be a staircase that circles downwards. Just a little bit, onto a recessed platform, once again also made of glass, and with its own accompanying railings. And that begins to descend as well, until you are one floor below the command center. Your platform floats down, just one story, until it connects with a large room underneath this command center with a truly large amount of windows, and in the dead center, projected from the ceiling into thin air, is a holographic projection of Sargasso, with all the cities marked on the map with red beacons. It's a large circular platform that runs around this orb. Keep saying orbs today, but this globe that's floating in the center. It's being surrounded by a glass platform that you can walk around, and there seems to be several devices and computers set up for interacting with this map. And on the far side, you see a woman. She's wearing a white dress and has long, white, curly hair. She turns around and begins to walk towards you. There's soft clicking as her heels meet down on the glass, and as she approaches you, she's very tall. Unnaturally tall, maybe. She gets close again, and she has her hands clasped behind her back, and she brings them forward, and you see that they're metal. They're white plastic and white steel. All the fingers flex and move like doll parts rather than by actual fingers.
Nyx raises an eyebrow, slightly impressed.
Her skin is very pale, and she's got like what you thought were hazel eyes at first, but as you get closer, you see that they're very plainly just yellow.
The fuck?
The dress covers the majority of her torso and most of her legs, and she's wearing very tall, like thigh-high boots, so you cannot see any other parts of her and whether or not they're robotic or not. All you know is that ending at the shoulders just before the collarbone is steel. The captain does a slight bow. What do you three do?
Nyx
Um,
nods her head in greeting.
I wave.
Interesting. She waves back.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to be the first to welcome you to the center, you three. I am Councilor Mira. It is a pleasure to meet you. and she looks at Nyx with a special keenness to her eye.
Nyx notices. But she does nothing.
I suppose it's been a long journey for you three, hasn't it been?
Very.
Well, I would just like to hopefully put some minds at ease by saying that I'm very sorry for the things that have happened to you all, and now that you've come and meet me in person, your bounties have been waived.
Sweet.
Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated.
Not a problem. You guys look around, and there's no one else in this large room, and there's plenty of space below you, and what looks to be machines are humming underneath your feet. Where there isn't just, windows, upside-down skylights that lead out into the deadness of space. You seem to have gone through the ring and come out the other side on the bottom. She walks around the outside edge of this large circular platform closer to you guys, and she's quite tall, maybe 6'4". She's got heels, though. Might be cheating. As a gesture of good faith, how about you ask the first questions?
Are we prisoners?
For now.
Okay.
And she smiles.
I smile back.
Very well then, I see you three
But
are
bigger.
very talkative, so I'm just going to leave.
I was waiting to see if anyone else had
No, go ahead.
had anything to say. Nick says, "Forgive me, but I did see an email mentioning a specific person that you had been interested in."
She raises an eyebrow. And she looks like a little, fake annoyed. Were you snooping, Seema Arzella?
I don't go by that name anymore.
It's what's written on your record.
It's a dead name. That woman died 10 years ago.
Evidently not.
I picked up a couple of things from my father.
Indeed, your father. He was a great man. It was a shame what happened that day. If you're wondering why your name was mentioned specifically, it's because I recognized it from him. I hired him myself. There was no one better.
I see.
But alas, I
Let me in.
suppose. Not everything is meant to last, I suppose.
Unfortunate.
You other two. Abram and Leo. Aurelio? Which do you prefer?
Anything's cool, man.
Indeed. Well, I will just be blunt with you. You've got something, and I would like to have it.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
Nope.
We've got pictures, Aurelio.
No, you don't.
You can pull fast ones on robots, but not on me.
Yes, you can.
We're gonna die here.
She holds out her hand, her metal hand, and she gives, the gimme gesture.
I give her a hot dog.
You ate
Where'd
what?
that go?
Where did that...
I've got 7.
Oh, yeah.
Is this what we're doing?
Yep.
Alright. She takes the hot dog and she looks at it and then she just kind of sets it down on the railing and then she holds out her hand again.
Give her another one.
He's got a pile of hot dogs on the railing.
We're going to die.
Aurelio, I'm asking nicely. Can you please give me the orb?
Alright, fine. I give her the drugs.
Aurelio is he even carrying the orb?
He's carrying a orb, but I'm not giving her that one.
She's holding her hand out, in general to all three of you. Abram, I know you have the orb, but I guess she doesn't.
No, it's just funny. Abram's just standing there.
Abram is just standing there?
Yeah, he's watching this hot dog exchange.
Alright. Captain! Aurelio, make a constitution save.
Oh no.
Oh.
go.
Okay.
I'm fine.
You are not knocked out unconscious. A foot slams into the back of your knee, and you fall on it. And then some cold fingers wrap around your neck and collarbone, and then the other hand quickly searches through your person and pulls out a lot of things and throws them on the floor rapidly, including the device that you stole from the lab, but they don't seem to be concerned with it.
Good, I put it back in my pocket.
You don't do
Oh my
anything. You
God.
are restrained.
Damn.
Nick's left out a long breath.
And then, I suppose, they move on to the next person.
Am I still restrained?
Yes. Abram? Do you have the orb? Can you please hand that over?
He stands there for a second. May I first ask what you will do with it?
She turns around and is walking back towards the large globe that now paints her in a dark silhouette, and she raises up some fingers and looks at them and then clenches them slowly, one at a time. I would like to finish my research, if you'd be so kind.
What research?
Historical. Tell me, Abram, what was it like? Tell me, what did you think when you heard that call?
I thought that something otherworldly was happening, but given its effects on technology, perhaps it is just ancient.
Indeed, perhaps. Do you hear that, Abram? She says as she smacks her fingers together. Do you hear it?
Abram looks uncomfortable.
That is the sound that played across the sector all at once, from everywhere at once, 4 days ago. That is what I heard. Others heard something about Light's End and ultimate power, and she looks a little upset, almost jealous even. The captain lets go of Aurelio.
I pick up my stuff.
Now please, hand over the orb. It emits a signal. After it received new energy, it pulsed. It created that recording. That is what we were picking up on our devices, all of our measurement tools, all of our satellites. Everything, it just heard a long drone moan. A burst of energy on every spectrum that we know of. But people, they heard a promise in their heads. I would like to know why. It was easy to track you. That orb was emitting some kind of signal even afterwards. It was dimming slowly. It was important that we found you within the week. Perhaps it could have been gone after that, but you were carrying a beacon with you. And you will be so long as you continue to resist me. You can stay for my findings. I have no intention of letting you go anytime soon.
Even if we were to give you the orb?
You can watch me perform my final experiment right now. What do you think this room is built for? Captain Azura stands up next to Abram, and he's gonna whisper very quietly. Just give her what the orb is. Just give it to her. I promise you will not be thrown in any jails.
Abram kind of narrows his eyes, but he looks to... Yeah, he looks at Nyx and Aurelio.
Nick says, with all due respect, I've done everything I could, and yet every time I even so much as attempted to research further, the entirety of everything that was run off of electricity was turned off. It even disabled my arm and eye.
Indeed, Arzoa. It was hungry.
She kind of narrows her eyes a little bit at that name, but says nothing further.
Did you notice when the call came out? It was after you three had given it sunshine. I would like
So
to...
it's solar powered?
Perhaps. It seems to take any power you're willing to give it, and this ring is capable of generating a lot of power. Why don't we give it what it wants and see what it has to say?
For some reason, that doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
This,
Don't know why. Just a weird feeling.
this building was designed specifically for this purpose, Aurelia. At least this room.
How long have you been building it?
This building has been here for longer than me, but this extension was designed within the past 10 years.
Why in the past 10 years?
She has a quick eye glance at Nyx, and then immediately pulls her eyes back on Aurelia. It was evident that we needed to prepare
For?
for the moment where 3 adventurers would finally deliver it is that I needed. Now, if you'd be so kind as to hand it over...
Next
Don't know what
is
you're talking
Abram.
about.
In the off chance, DM, I'm echoing off of your mic for some reason.
I'll mute myself while you're talking.
Okay. In the off chance that someone does not make it after this experiment, may I ask you about Pavo Station?
Yes, I suppose you can ask any question you would like. If it'll make it so that you give me that orb.
Not addressing that, Abram continues. What really happened at Pavo Station? There's no one here. You won't let us leave if you do not wish, so...
She looks at the captain, and then she looks at Nyx.
She has her brows furrowed.
Nyx, there is no way you don't remember.
Well, I remember very clearly that night.
Very well. She brings up a quick picture on this hologram. It flashes with a big spark of blue, and she doesn't seem to be moving it with any kind of actual remote control. She's just willing it to happen. Instead of the globe with all the different cities marked out and the map of Sargasso, you see an incredibly blurry image of Pavo Station, descending, its arms out, its wings splayed to catch as much solar radiation as it could to power itself, and you see it being ripped apart by some kind of boiling red energy that's just so powerful that it's distorted the camera that's taking pictures of itself.
Nyx's right hand goes to her arm. To her left arm.
There was an attack, Abram. We don't know by who and we don't know by what. We thought it was the Corsairs, but no one ever took responsibility for it. Whoever it was, they came in an instant. They destroyed it in an instant. We sent our fastest ship, helmed by our greatest captain. And she side-eyes Captain Azura real quickly. But his frigate was destroyed in the process, and we're lucky that he got out alive. I'm sure you've seen the Night Owl. It's now a museum piece more than anything else. A shame, really. Does that answer your question, Abram?
Abram does not look convinced, but he just kind of looks at Azura before pulling his bag around to his front.
What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is
Pretty fucking high. As you look at Captain Azura, he looks sad, despondent. He looks like he's got some kind of regret on his mind, and he's looking down at his 3 fingers that are missing.
Or just whispers, don't do it.
Nyx is looking at Abram, just.
What? I don't trust her.
I heard what you said, but between me echoing off of Fluff and then Coconut's like thing is like quiet. I don't know what Nick said.
Oh, Nyx said just give it to her.
Oh my god, I have fucking Angel and the Devil on my shoulder right now.
Very quiet, and she's still holding her arm.
Well, one of us is in shock, and the other one's, also in
Abram-
shock because they both lost their arms.
This sucks. Abram doesn't want to give it to her, but we won't. We likely will never have the energy required to satiate this thing and make it do something.
Just leave it in the sun. Like a flower.
We water it every day.
Oh my god.
She's gonna kill somebody.
She's gonna kill all of us with whatever it does.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what this will do?
I mean, whenever it takes energy from stuff, it just shuts it off completely. We're in a giant space station that's gonna be shut off
That's
completely.
what. Okay, Abram asks the lady, "How do you know this won't just sap all of the energy from the station?"
This entire building that you are standing in is specifically designed as a radiation shield. Also, this entire block can be jettisoned. There's a reason it's built on the outside of the structure. We have full life support, air for several days. Don't worry, we would be simply floating adrift for an hour until a frigate can come and pick us up. That way we don't need to risk anything getting too much power sapped away from the rest of the ring.
Just a question for everyone else. Why are we keeping this orb anyway? Like, what else can we do with it? Like, we've for all intents and purposes have done the full extent of what we are able to do with it.
That you think.
It's true,
Theory.
but I feel like she's gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if what'll happen will be
Like,
good.
I'm not really
but
worried
you're-
about giving her the orb. I'm just worried that she's gonna kill somebody.
I don't think it has the ability to kill anything. I think it can just turn things off.
I mean, if you throw it hard enough, it can kill anybody.
It sucks the energy out of everything. I don't know if we're included.
The
I mean, your arm
electronic
is. But...
energy. I mean, every time.
Yeah, but then when it wakes up, it might like turn into like a fucking golem and
Yeah,
kill
like
but
what
you're
if
right.
it like turns into something?
I think it's fine. I think
You're right. I do want to see what happens. Like out of character, I want to know what the
we
fuck.
can
is gonna
always steal it back.
happen. I was thinking that.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay, you know
We'll
what?
die.
Abram kind of like looks at the other two, like visually, like, yeah, we're gonna possibly take it back if we can. We can't let her keep this, especially if shit goes crazy. And then he takes the orb out and he holds it in front of him for a second. Does it feel any different? Does it smell any different?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't recording for a second. Well, let me tell you, Abram. It feels like an orb. Rather heavy, roughly 8 pounds. Very heavy for what it actually is. Very smooth. I suppose that it looks kind of like a little worn at this point. It's been through a lot. It looks kind of like the surface may have some scratches in it, some dents. Who knows? Not dents, but like some very minor surface level scratches.
Does it taste like anything?
Oh, there's only one way to find out, Aurelio and Abram.
I hold
like
it
it.
out to Aurelio for one last look.
All right.
Yep, give it to me.
All right, you lick it one last time, and it tastes a little like sandy. It tastes actually. You know what? Roll fucking investigation. Roll investigation or
Yeah.
insight. We're gonna make this happen. If you ever gonna insist on doing this, we're gonna make it fucking plot relevant.
I can't believe.
That's not good.
Relay me the plot, baby.
The plot. Abram, is there any way you think that you could assist this lick?
Oh my god.
Hey, it's just my lip.
In front of his fucking face.
What the fuck? How do I assist the
He
lick?
like twists the orb around
Yeah.
while I stick my tongue
Yeah.
out, so I lick all of it.
Ooh.
I make sure it gets all over
Okay,
his taste.
yeah.
It's slime.
Every
Alright,
like different,
alright.
every different texture.
You're right. Advantage. Advantage.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
I hate this fucking family.
We're so strange.
Even better.
I mean, you got that inspiration die. How much is this lick gonna
I'm
take
added.
from you? Oh my god! Roll again. Roll again.
We may never see this orb again.
You're right. You might not ever see it again. This could be
Above
the
a
end.
10.
Fuck.
Come on.
You got
Come on,
it.
Dan.
You got above a
Yeah.
10. All right, listen,
Yeah.
everyone be very quiet. Aurelio, you take a good long lick of this orb, and everyone around you is fucking disgusted. And the captain is like, his jaw like unclenches a little bit, and Myra's clenches up a little bit. And you taste it, and you really get your tongue on there, and you feel that there's actually like grooves and scrapes. Like, this is not a perfect orb. It's been worn, it's been dented, it's been damaged over time. Perhaps even your adventures have done things to it. You recall that you tried to throw it on the floor before, but you didn't actually throw it very hard. Who knows what could have happened with a natural 20? And you taste it for real this time. For real, you taste it, and you taste 100% like stone, marble. Like stone, not metal. You might have been expecting some kind of eldritch taste, like some kind of mocha or perhaps a vanilla, but no, it tastes like actual rocks. And it's interesting because you've tasted metal and metallic objects before, and you've
Oh,
tasted,
and I definitely know what rocks taste like.
and you've tasted rocks, and you've tasted weird technology, and this does not taste
Oh,
like
yeah.
weird technology. It could be that perhaps there might be something beneath the surface.
Oh ho. Can I quickly just like slap it onto the floor out of Abram's hand? To like kind of break it.
This is a question
Oh
between
my-
you and Abram.
Actually,
I mean,
Abram, do you have strength?
yeah.
Do you just wanna can I just whisper to
Do I
you?
have strength?
What?
Can you
Because
trust me?
Aurelio
Not anymore.
doesn't.
I know there's something up with this. I can give you advantage. We need to break it.
What are you doing? Oh, you want me to slam it into the ground?
We need to slam.
Oh my god. What is this ritual? He's like licking it and I just throw it out
I
to the
always
floor.
figure something out though.
Okay, I guess I'll slam it into the ground again.
Do
like
you
last
trust
time.
me? Do you trust me, Abram?
Can I like aid him? Like, can I put my hands
No,
on top of it?
I already let you roll 3 times for fucking licking it, so I'm just gonna say this is a normal roll for Abram.
I hate this. I hate everyone.
All right, Abram, almost like out of spite, like Mira like steps towards you really quickly, like very concerned, like what the fuck, and you throw it into the glass ground, and this glass is,
Oh fuck.
is very sturdy and designed to take a bullet, so it does not yield.
Okay, thank God.
But the marble does. You hear a cracking sound, and you look on the ground, and you see almost like eggshell. But
Mhm.
you on the it must be on the bottom because the top
Peel that
half
shit.
looks normal.
Uh-huh.
And you pick it back up again. The captain tried to go for it first, but Abram, I think you got more dexterity. But you
And he's way closer.
you pick it up and you turn it around and you see that indeed there's been a shattering on the far side of this marble orb. The marble is all cracked and warped like stone, like cement that's just like too old.
Mhm.
And then what do you do?
Can I talk to the what's her Mira? Can I just say, yeah, you built this entire thing to take a test, and all you needed to do was lick it.
She starts to step towards you, so you have fractions of seconds to do whatever it is you're going to do.
Alright, are we doing anything or am I handing it to her?
Peel it, peel it, peel it, peel it.
All right.
If I brush my fingers along the crack, does anything flake off?
Part of it starts to fall away and crumble because it's like crunched stone, and you pull away enough to actually peer inside, and you realize that this marble orb is actually only about a 3/4, half-inch thick of marble. And then you don't.
It's fucking hollow.
You
on
don't.
the
It's
inside.
hollow. No, you look inside and you see intricate, like you see another orb, but it is not of stone. It's
What the fuck?
something
We should have done this so much sooner.
white. It's got lines of gold. It's got special like it's like 2 halves that are different textures. You cannot see all of it because you've only cracked away maybe like an inch or 2 in square inches of this shell. but you see beneath something far more complex than a simple white orb.
All right, man. Pass it to me. I pass it to Nyx. She takes a quick look at it.
Abram, roll dexterity. A dexterity
this
saving
is-
throw, because now we're reaching the point where...
Dexterity. Okay, we're gonna die, guys. I'm just saying. Mira's
No,
gonna
there's
like,
after
grab.
the orb.
She's gonna grab one of us by the throat and just murder all of us.
Okay. Yep, Myra snatches it out of your hands. And you try to, like... You think you're quick, but she's got these, like, metal arms, and you hear a whirring sound as they just quickly reach out and snatch and yank it right out of your hand.
That's cheating.
And she's standing over you, several inches above your head. And the captain is, like, stepped forward a little bit, and he's put a hand on your shoulder, Abram. And she now has this orb in her
just
hand.
stand there, yeah.
And she peers inside. Interesting.
What is it?
Something very old.
Yeah.
And she turns around and walks towards the terminal that she's been standing nearby this entire time. And the quick picture of the snapshot taken of the attack on Pavo Station falls away, and the room is very dark. There's lights around, like, the walls and stuff like that. But without the holographic projection, it becomes very dim. And then two large prongs unfold out from the terminal, and a small pedestal emerges that is perfectly orb-shaped. It's actually a little bit bigger, almost as if she wasn't quite sure how big it was going to be. And then she sets it down. And then two beams of blue light start beaming directly into the sides of this orb. They're like lasers, about a foot long each. They're, like, spaced away, because once again, she wasn't quite sure how big it was going to be. You hear a humming sound, and it's almost like a blinding light, but you are still capable of moving, seeing, talking. Does anybody do anything?
I walk over.
All right, you can walk nearby, and you do so, and this time Myra is, like, standing slightly between you, so you don't do whatever. And she leans down to you, and she says, I am Councilor Mira of the Lunar's Foundation, and I've plenty of sway. Aurelio, you've done me a service by bringing this to me. I don't have intentions of locking you up into a prison or a penitentiary. I certainly don't even mind perhaps employing you people in the future. Clearly you've got some skills.
Why do you bring this up?
Why? Because, well, as far as I'm aware, your adventure is done. You've delivered me the orb, and now your time with this is over. I'm not quite sure what more there is for you to do. Would you like to go back to your sand desert abode?
Well, Councilor Mira, I'm Aurelio de la Fuente, and my adventure is not over.
And then a flash of gold light emits from the orb through this crack that has been formed by Abram smashing it into the ground, and it projects along the ceiling its own holographic projection of a gigant, bigger than the globe, all through the room. You're standing around specks of light. They're in between you. It's everywhere it can be, escaping from this scratch that has been made in its surface. Everybody, roll perception.
I'm gonna die.
Blinding white lights all around you, and slowly they begin to dim. And all three of you recognize it, kinda, as a map. Not of a planet or a place or a river or a country or a nation, but of, like, everywhere. Of, like, the entire sector. You see 5 stars floating around in space. You see, like, tiny little planets. As you walk forward, things start to shift and zoom in and zoom out, and you see planets orbiting other planets and moon. I guess those would be called moons. Moons orbiting planets and gas giants and rings, and you see large stars beaming, and it's everywhere. And nobody rolled quite high enough to tell exactly where, but it seems all familiar to all of you. And then as more and more energy is being dumped into this orb, you start to feel a little hazy and woozy, and your heads start to get a little nauseous, and there's like a slight humming in your ears that started to feel normal, like just, oh, I'm standing on some kind of like there's an engine beneath my feet is what it felt like before, but now it feels like your bones are rattling just beneath your ears. And Councilor Mira is stepping back and looking at all of it, and Captain Azura is also transfixed. Several points of light begin to emerge, marking out what seems to be like 3 completely random arbitrary locations on this map, in 3D all around you. They shine like stars on their own, but in a different way, with white light instead of the gold and orangey hues that make up the actual images themselves. Aurelio, I hate to do this to you, but Nyx and Abram are the only people who have been in space.
Oh, I don't know what any of this is.
So can you two just roll in an insight investigation? We'll do investigation.
Oh.
Or history, I suppose.
History.
I have negative, so I
Wow.
hope you got this. Oh, well, alright, let's see.
Myra's like trying to discern it as well, and she's like, I'm gonna have to roll a d20, she says. Okay.
I've seen space maps. Can I just roll to be like?
Yeah, why not?
Huh,
Yeah, roll bad boy. Roll a quick bad boy, and we'll figure out what to add to it.
So what am I
afterwards.
rolling?
Just roll a d20.
Bad boy.
Yeah, roll a d20, and we'll add a number to it, or maybe subtract the number depending on what it is you choose. I don't think that there's anything that we can add to save you from a 1.
No.
You're like,
No, I don't think there
you're
is.
like, wow, that's a lot of
That's
likes.
Can I ask Azura if he recognizes anything? He's a spaceman.
And he'll try to roll as well. And
Help us.
And Captain Azura. Wait, I think I know that moon.
Nice.
And he points out to 1, and he's like, I think that's Slove.
Ah, I have a parka that's good for there.
It does not look.
Brilliant.
It does not look the same though. Things are shifted.
What do you mean?
They don't. The space is too. It's strange. Places aren't where they should be. It's like looking at something upside down or inside out or mirrored, or too small. The proportions are wrong. I can't even be sure if that's what it is. Well, it's hard not to recognize a planet with 3 moons.
Nyx speaks up. If I might offer a suggestion as to break off more of the shell.
Councilor Maya is like, maybe after she's like transfixed. She's like amazed.
Can I just break
I
off more?
believe
of
that
this?
it would be more beneficial if we broke open more of the shell to see more of the picture.
Oh, you're right. We should. We'll be able to see more that way, but we're gonna have to wait for it to cool down. This is an incredibly powerful laser. It's dumping a lot of electricity into this.
I look at it with my heat vision.
Okay, yeah, you look at it and it's like white hot. Because there's 2 laser beams that are literally just light, as hot as it could be. I suppose it's not designed for heating or something, but very, very warm is what's going on over there. And the orb itself, the marble is not withstanding it. It's like you look through your eye because there's no way that you could really fully see it otherwise. But it's like it's starting to shift and warp as the marble, whatever. I keep saying marble, but who knows what kind of stone it is? It's like starting to melt.
Or we could just wait for it to melt off.
We'll see on that one.
I'm watching it warp in real time.
And as you watch it warp in real time, red flashes start to show up around the room. And a loud siren starts to blare.
Oh god.
Nyx has her right hand on her left arm, and she's like ready.
Abruptly and very quickly, and perhaps sooner than many of you would like, the gold map disappears as the energy stops flowing into the orb. But the red lights keep flashing and the siren keeps going. And Mira looks like taken aback, like someone kicked her. Like she's like suddenly shocked out of real life.
What's going on?
I don't... Is that the air raid siren? Are we under attack?
No.
I don't know, Captain, are we?
The captain runs back to the elevator, and the Councilor Mira grabs the orb with her metal arms off of the pedestal, and you can look through your eye and see that it is still incredibly fucking hot, but she seems to be okay.
She doesn't have nerve endings, lovely.
And she jumps onto the elevator as well. And you guys begin to ascend up as the flashing of lights continues, and they've shifted to like a yellow, like spinning like around the room, and you see people buzzing back and forth like bees in an attacked hive. They're all going back and forth. There's hundreds of people. You see patrol officers that are now got their helmets on. You see someone putting on a helmet, and you feel like this air of stress and uncertainty as Mira runs to the center of the room, up some stairs onto a central platform, and tries to look out the window, and there's really nothing really to see because the distances in space are huge. And she says, "What's wrong?" And the captain is running around amongst the people because that's where he belongs, trying to figure out what's going on as well. And you see a young man. I don't know, sir. And it's the man that Aurelio sent on some random wayward journey earlier in the day. And he looks up and he sees, with his special eyes, nothing, because he rolled a 3, and he's got very bad vision.
Oh my god.
He takes off his glasses and gives them a good cleaning and then puts them back on again.
Nyx looks at the counselor. You have evacuation pods, correct?
Evacuation pods? It's a whole city. Or Zella, we don't have the capabilities of evacuating millions of people just like that on the Flash, but we do have a plan. No, we were going to have to do a little bit more than just that.
Well, you might want to start having people prepare to execute said plan, because if this is what I think it is, then we might be in serious issue.
There!
We might have a serious issue.
Mira, on the screen, we have a hazy look. And on the glass windows, they apparently also function as TVs, because one of the windows starts to zoom in boop, 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 on a tiny little blurry pixel just past the moon of Sargasso, hundreds of kilometers away. Insanely far. And it's so tiny. It's so itty-bitty. And the man speaks up saying, "So we've already sent out a scouting ship to take a look at a closer. We should have some better view in just a moment." You see this tiny pixel, and it shifts and wavers, and it's, for the most part, a dark crimson with some blaring like silver marks here and there, but you can't see more than, I mean, like, it's the worst pixel art you've ever seen. It comprises of no more than 10 pixels. It's just so far away. And you guys eventually are treated to a view of another window that pops up almost as abruptly as the first one did. And it is indeed a view from a separate location besides yourselves. And it's looking at what appears to be a large ring of dark red and silver and black paint. It's massive. It has it swells slightly in the front and has 2 peaks on the top and bottom, like a ring in itself. And from the ring attached to it on 6 points are these large wing-like structures. And they move and they fold and they begin to outstretch themselves from the central ring body into a large, like, X-like formation. And specks of blue and white light are coming off the back of them and seem to be propelling it forwards towards the city of Cirrus. It has a massive, glaring scar across its face, running from top to bottom. It would have removed an eye if it was a face.
So it's a ship?
It appears to be a ship, but Aurelio, I'll make you do a roll of history.
Okay.
One of you can do it. I feel like Aurelio actually spoke up.
I have a +4 to history because I'm proficient in it.
Can she do it instead?
Yeah. I could if you want me to.
Aurelio, both roll. Why not? Take advantage. You both can do a roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Between those 2 numbers, I think that you guys can be fully confident when I say you've never seen a ship that looks like this before.
That's crazy.
In the dead center, you see a thin black line across its face on the outermost portion of this ring, and it seems to just be glaring at you. And as it gets closer, and as the little scouting ship gets closer, and you've got 2 views now, one farther away and one closer, you can kind of start to see some more details. And on the side of one of the wings, you see emblazoned in ancient paint, chipped and long since emblazoned on. Now it's just falling apart. You see an icon of a wing, and besides it, a red star.
Nyx looks at the counselor. You need to evacuate now.
Everyone is speechless in the room.
That's the last thing that I saw before my pod escaped this Pavo station.
Everyone is silent, and eventually the young man that Aurelio said something to earlier is finally speaks up, and he just looks at it and says, "What? I didn't think it was real." And Councilor Mira looks at you and says, "There's no way that we're going to be able to evacuate millions of people in the minutes it's going to take for the ship to arrive."
Is there any defensive maneuvers that we can pull? Anything? Just...
We have entire battalions of ships. We're going to stay right where we are, and we are going to have a firefight if we need be. There's no way that one ship is going to be able to resist the entire might of Lunar's foundation. And she says that with a sadness.
It took out the entirety of Pavo Station in one night.
I am aware, Miss Arzella. We will not make the same mistake twice. We will destroy it if we have to. And you just see the young man standing next to you guys, and he's like, "Huh." And the captain looks tense as well, and eventually he starts barking orders to people and trying to get people to move again. And they're having trouble having it. Abram, roll history.
Yeah. I got you. My wonderful modifier.
Oh.
No, you can't really fail skill rolls. It just changes how much you get.
Okay.
You've heard of a ship like this before? Only in ghost stories.
Can I try using my inspiration?
Inspiration lets you re-roll a die.
Yeah.
Go right ahead if you'd like to.
I wanna know. Please, Abram.
Alright, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you've heard of this ship before, and you've heard it described a dozen different ways on a dozen different worlds, and no one ever really seems to agree, besides just the general shape of a ring with wings and the color red. You've heard it referred to just as the name by the emblem on the side, the red star. You've heard more people thinking about the wing. You've never ever seen it before yourself.
Mm.
It's said to be a pirate ship, maybe, though it's incredibly dangerous and violent by pirate standards. Stories of its conquest date back for generations. There's no way that it can just be piloted by the same man. However, there's got to be some kind of fabrication or grossly inflated stories just to scare children or something.
No way, man. I don't believe that shit. It's real.
You see the man next to you, and he's got his hands on his shoulders. What? And then he looks to his right, and he sees Leo, and he's like, "Captain Strauss, you're thinner."
Oh my god.
I don't know anything about science, young man. I'm not Captain Strauss. I'm sorry.
I understand. I think deep down I really knew it the whole time. I just wanted to believe what I wanted to believe.
I mean, I do think you're gonna make it places, kid. But first we need to figure out what the hell that thing is.
This is
That's the Corona, right?
What?
Huh?
What?
It's a folk story for modern age. I mean, I've heard a bunch of... My major, it's in history?
Well, tell us, man. Tell
Okay,
us.
all right, fine. Hold on. It's just a collection of ships. I thought that they all shared one title, and then that way they could have a big empire of pirates, and nobody would ever doubt them because it could be in more places than at one time. I don't know. One of the stories is that it could be in any place at any time at any point without ever having to go through the gateways. It could be in more than one places at once. It's probably just a scare tactic, though. I mean, one ship, maybe. It's probably just a bunch of stories, though. My favorite one is that it's a space monster that feeds on stranded vessels. Or an interdimensional being that hunts down those people who enter subspace through the gateways. That's a
Nick,
good one.
I grab him by the collar.
Oh,
Nick gets so angry that her left eye starts to glow.
okay.
I grab him by the collar and I hold up a hand to Nyx, like very gently.
Can I turn off the laser that's going on the orb?
That's been off for a while. You guys have collected the orb and you've gone upstairs.
Okay.
Hopefully that room doesn't blow up by itself.
Yeah,
But,
that ship destroyed my entire station.
I don't think it's much of a folk story because of that.
I didn't know. I was just a kid when that happened. I had no idea.
Yeah, so was I.
I thought it was pirates.
Oh my god. Abram froze him.
Oh, you throw him and he like bounces off the thing, and Captain Azura is still like running around barking orders. And then everything goes quiet again as you hear a noise. Ma'am, we're receiving a transmission.
See, just talk to it.
And then you hear that signal that Councilor Mira played for you earlier over the loudspeakers. It's a perfect 1-to-1 match. It's repeating it.
What the fuck?
Nick.
And then it repeats it again, though I won't do it live because I think once is enough for you guys, unless you want to be spooked again.
No.
God.
Hey, Nick.
What?
Was there anything in the New Pavo or in the Pavo station that was being held in supply rooms or in cargo or anything?
As far as I know, I was just a kid. My dad did all that stuff. Can I roll something to see if I know vaguely of something of my dad's studies?
Yes, you can. Can you hear me?
What can I roll?
Roll history. That's what that would be. If only you had bought Lady Gregory's Book of Many Travels, they'd have a +2 to that.
12.
Your father was an engineer on Pavo Station, but you've seen many people walking back and forth. Its primary purpose was actually research of like the human nature, like history, not so much technology. It was very involved in Sargasso, but you never really knew why. I guess it was just a place where things ended up, and you always just accepted it like that, so you just figured it must have collected odds and ends from all over, the different wars that have taken place over its surface, the many ships that have crashed down in the middle of the desert and had nothing better to do than simply to lay over and die in the sun. New Pavo itself never seemed very special, but you are fully aware that there was a lot of confidential things that you were never allowed to see, and not even your father was necessarily allowed to see, though you're sure that he knew more than you did, considering you're just a kid. You were just a kid when that happened.
How long ago did Pavo Station crash?
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Hey, Myra.
Yes, my little spider monkey.
You've been building this for 10 years.
She stares at you.
When Pavo crashed. Pavo crashed because of that ship. So what was on Pavo? Answer truthfully if you want to get everyone out of this alive.
Aurelio? I don't know. The minute they sent a transmission saying that they had something of value, it happened. And yes,
How long?
you are right. That is what destroyed Pavo Station. And it seems that it knows about the signal, which means that it wants the orb.
I think it's wanted it for a lot longer than we think. So let's send a signal to them.
What?
Do you have anything that can broadcast straight to ships? Voice,
We can just
video?
do an open radio signal. I suppose anybody who's around could hear it.
Yeah, sure, do that.
Captain Azura is staring at all three of you.
Might as well. It's a bit of an emergency.
Oh, what's the worst that could happen? Either way, it might blow us up, so we're gonna die, or we're gonna die without giving it a shot, so...
Alright,
Next
fine.
points to our arm and her eye. The redo of Pavo Station will be the worst thing that happened.
We don't have much more. You don't have much more to lose.
Thanks.
What is your plan?
Well, I plan to talk to them.
What do you plan to say? We have to record it.
Oh, we have to record it? I thought it was just live.
I'm not letting you do a live conversation with something that is capable of destroying an entire satellite city.
So you'd rather do a conversation that's recorded and might never get out?
Okay, so look. And then she presses a few buttons, and it does seem like a wave form for like sound shows up on the screen, and it's already recording. We'll cut out the part that you want to say, then send it.
All right. Well, hi. Mysterious ship. Looks great. I'm Aurelio. You can call me Leo. It's cool. You were. You look pretty menacing. I understand that we probably have something that you want, so why don't we do a little rendezvous? You can send out a pod of people, your strongest warriors, whatever. We'll send out a pod of people, our own strongest warriors for protection. And we'll meet halfway with the orb, neutral grounds, and we'll have a little chit chat. And
She stops the recording. I'm not letting that happen, Aurelio.
so you're gonna let millions of people die?
We're going to destroy it instantaneously. We have several dreadnoughts.
No, you're not.
The captain is like already organizing several ships to like come from the other side of the planet.
Nix looks at Aurelio.
How did it
Aurelio,
find
I
this?
understand what you're trying to do, but
How did it know?
you don't know the extent of what these guys can do.
I know that they can take down an entire station, so if you think they're gonna have issue with even dreadnoughts?
I don't think they're up for negotiations. I think they just want and they'll take if they can.
Dr. Strauss, I hate to break it to you, but none of the stories ended with a happy ending. Anybody who's ever seen the captain never lived to tell about it.
Except, we have someone that's lived from one of the stories.
You, miss? Have you actually seen it, the thing?
My name is Sima Arzella, and I am the only survivor of the Pavo Station disaster.
Oh, my. And he makes like a gesture with his hands over his forehead that you've seen before by some religious people as well. Similar to like crossing themselves, except it's just over their forehead and the bridge of their nose. Well, I greatly apologize for that information. I hope you're okay. You look good.
She points to her arm and then her eye.
Really, really good. He's sweating. Listen, I don't know what to say.
There's nothing to say. It happened 10 years ago. What we need to right now is make sure that that doesn't happen ever again.
Well,
Moira, I'm urging you, make a live broadcast.
I'm not.
We need to hear what they are. They can't shoot us through a broadcast.
You want me to hail them, and you seriously think we're going to have a conversation with this pirate?
If you want, just send me over.
Not sending
Mic
any.
me up.
You know what? Fine, but you're going to be supervised. I'm going to cut you off at any moment. Here, and she makes a few more clicks on the computer, and a live channel is open, just broadcasting in general to anybody around who's capable of listening. There's no way to just send a direct message without them actually physically receiving it. And all the while, this thing is getting closer.
Mic test. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hello. Anyone and everyone that can hear me. I'm Aurelio, and I'm currently aboard Lunaris, a Lunaris station.
Sears.
Serious? As a prisoner, but that's besides the point. I'm trying to get in touch with the very ominous Crimson ship coming our way.
The Red Star.
Red Star, Corona, what Red Wing.
Some
If
people call it the
you
Icosat
can
as
hear
well.
us. Sure. If you can hear us, blink your lights, send a transmission. I just want to talk, and I know what you want, and we have it.
You don't hear anything, but the wings shift into a new formation. Slowly, like it's requiring great effort. All 6 of them begin to swap locations. The ones that were higher up are now low, and the ones that are low are now higher up.
All right, you can hear us. Good, good. Okay, so now we have a form of yes and no. The wings are on the bottom. If you're here for the orb, go to the top.
They do that, and then blaring very loud over the audio, you hear again that dark, strange call.
Right, we get it, yes, okay, we get it. Stop that. So we have the orb, right? Hundreds of thousands of people don't have to die again. So how about we just not do that, and instead you send some people over, and we will hand over the orb.
You've got your 2 views of the red star, if that's what you want to call that for now, or the corona, or the Icosat, or whatever you'd like to say. And then there's a blinding flash of red. And the second view that you've had that's been more zoomed in, thanks to a remote shuttle, is just gone. Interference and snow is all that remains on the screen. All that you have now is the small pixelated view, and it's slowly getting closer.
Okay, so
For negotiations.
that wasn't cool.
The counselor speaks up. It's following the signal.
So it's tracking the orb.
It must be. It's the only way it could have known that we've had it. But why does it want it? It's just a
Why did
bloody
you want
warlord.
it?
Ultimate power.
When it attacked years ago. Oh, yeah, I suppose that's right now, isn't it? She had forgotten that. She'd never heard the signal in her head.
For some reason, might I add.
Yeah, fuck, she's evil.
Well, then that problem will be fixed if we leave with the orb.
She looks at you with, like, wide eyes. And Captain Azura takes a step forward as well, but he does nothing.
If
Abram's just standing there expectantly.
if we leave the orb, the entire station won't have to fall, and it will continue to follow us.
She bites her lip. Roll persuasion. All 3 of you can roll persuasion.
Wait,
Oh, okay.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
We just need a fast pilot who is willing to go on this adventure, if you will. And she kind of like looks over at Azura, and I'm gonna roll persuasion.
Roll persuasion.
Are you all rolling persuasion?
Yeah.
I suck.
Yeah, I said that all 3 of you could roll persuasion. We'll see what the cumulative total is, and I'll use that as a judge.
Sure.
Abram, please save us.
She looks down at the ground, and she's like looking at her hands, and she's biting her lip. She's looking at an orb in her arms. And then she holds it out to you, Nyx.
She takes it in her robotic arm.
Take it far away. Don't tell me where you're going. Don't broadcast to anyone. They might intercept it. Just go. We'll find you again. As of now, you are working for me.
Thank you.
I'll find a way to get you money if that's what you really care about. Just go. But no, you cannot take Captain Azura. I need him here with me.
Understandable.
Captain Azura is barking orders, and he seems to be talking about the Night Owl, actually. Into a radio. Captain Azura then comes over to you 3, and he says, "Are you sure about this?"
There's no other way.
That's the worst that could happen.
You die.
That's the worst? Fine then.
Better than an entire station of Lunaris, of all things.
Captain Azura looks at Abram despondently.
Ow. Oh, sorry. Oh. Abram returns the look, but then he says, "You just worry about keeping the rest of your body."
very well. Come with me.
Aurelio kind of turns around to look at Moira and just goes, "See, I told you the adventure wasn't done yet."
She slaps her hand, and then she
So
just waves you off.
She flips me off.
No, she waves you off.
Oh, okay.
Though there's such a thin line keeping her from doing it. And
I see.
you guys you make your way back towards the elevators. People run around, and some are still dumbfounded in silence as they watch this ship slowly coming closer. One woman, she does not look good.
Ooh,
What?
where are we going?
Oh.
We're taking him with us.
Oh.
I am afraid I am
No.
Lunar's property. I cannot leave Sierra Station.
Why not?
We're going places.
It's in my programming.
Oh.
my god.
The woman just, I don't know. I mean, if you want to know that much and you take a moment to observe her, she looks like she's crying.
Yeah, what's going on with her? What the hell?
Well, I mean,
Perhaps she thinks she's gonna die today.
Not today. Actually, Azura's still like leading us.
Yes,
What's going on?
you're
Okay.
still in the command center, making your way towards the elevator that took you down to begin with. Did you want to do anything? An interception or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask. Well, no, I'm just gonna ask that moon. What was it called?
What? Oh, Slove. It's an icy world. You just be careful. Why? Oh.
Maybe we should head there. Oh.
I wouldn't mention anywhere that we're going until we are clear of the station.
Say nothing. No chance. There's recording possibly everywhere. Not until your own ship do you have any chance of even saying anything. And don't broadcast, don't look back, just go. If they're truly
Well, that's what
following
we're
the
going,
orb.
just like-
Nick says, don't worry, once we get to the ship, I'll give you the coordinates to a safe place.
Don't send any coordinates.
Not to you. Not to you, she says. She says, Aurelia, you can fly, right?
oh, I can fly.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Look,
It's
she
like two
wouldn't
little
give us
finger guns.
you, he says to Azura. So this is what we have. He motions to Aurelia.
I have plenty of training. I have trained for years since I was a child.
How did you train? And the elevator door is shut unless there's anything you wanted to do in that command center. The last thing you see is Captain Mira staring despondently out at the red star. Click. Do 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 do.
Is
Well,
there
I
any
mean-
way to speed up this elevator?
Through the power of editing,
Yeah.
you guys get to another floor and you go down some hallways, and it's a few minutes before you get to another area that's like sectioned off from people, similar to the shuttle's portion. However, it's got gravity because you're on the outside edge of the ring, and you see your ship.
Oh, the baby.
It is resting on its engines and its tail, and its belly slightly off the ground, and there seems to just be an open door waiting for you all. There's several people loading things in and out of it, and you see Jonathan like standing nearby, and he's like, "Oh, hey guys!"
Hey,
And he
Jonathan.
throws you the keys.
Yeah.
You never answer. How did you train?
You know, there was machines where I live that would train you to fly ships.
I put a hand on Azura's shoulder heavily. Video games.
He puts a hand back on yours, and he says, "Godspeed."
We've got an ex-engineer on the ship. I think we'll be okay.
I hope so. I get on
Yeah,
the ship.
and we have Abram.
What? I think. Well, I'll talk about that later. Also, I just want to. I'm telling you, I gave I gave Azura half of my stationery. Just saying.
He takes half of your stationery and subtly slips it into behind the small of his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick says to Azura, thank you for everything, and I don't mean just now, I mean back then.
I did what I could.
I understand that.
I don't pretend to take responsibility for your survival.
But at least you tried. And that's all that really matters in the end.
He says nothing, and just kind of looks at you. What do you three do?
Nix is gonna go on the ship.
I give Jonathan a couple pieces of stationery, and I say, And I like write down his dad's address, and I say, this, close death experience, right to your father. And then I board the ship.
And then you three board your ship.
Yeah!
Nyx goes immediately to the computer to type out some coordinates.
Okay.
I go to the flight seat to fly.
Aurelia, you
And I
jump
make sure
in
my
that seat.
fuzzy dice are there.
They're there, but they're on the ground because they got tossed around in the zero gravity with Beacon, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I put them back on the little rear view mirror or whatever.
Okay.
Rearview mirror.
Sounds good.
My rear view
I hope
space
it
mirror.
has one.
Man, that would be
I ripped one off
unfortunate.
of my armor and put it there.
Good. Holy shit.
Alright, this place that we're going is pretty far away, so we're gonna want to hyperspeed it if we possibly can. I hope this thing has hyperspeed.
Probably not. It's from a junkyard, but it goes fast.
It does
Fast is good.
go fast.
Fast is good.
Aurelio, you flip a few switches and then you slowly begin to put your hand down on the throttle and it feels warm and hums beneath your palm. And it feels
Nyx is
good.
immediately gonna go to her seat and buckles in.
There's two seats just behind him, it's like sucked right up against the wall. All three of you are in the frontmost section and glasses all around you showing you a large view of the hangar within, the cranes overhead, and the people waving their yellow sticks and telling you that it's good to go.
We go.
You go.
We're gonna floor it.
The door shuts.
Hey, Abram, you grabbed the orb, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we did.
He's got it. It's a little melty, but he's got it. And
Whatever.
the door shuts and locks, and you feel sound as pressurization begins to happen inside of your building. Your tiny moving building with engines. Some would call it a plane or a ship, but I'm going to call it a building. And you feel a
Right.
lift as the engines roar to life. They shoot down a harsh flame that cooks the ground, and your engines, they go up, and then you bounce against the ceiling.
Wrong button, sorry.
Aurelio!
It waves back and forth, left and right. It goes a little turvy. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then forward, and you push the stick in the direction that you dream is forward, and the ship starts to go back a little bit, and you immediately figure it out. But the Jonathan is like, outside.
Do we see a Zero's reaction?
He's got Jonathan in his arms, and he's like carrying him out of the way of the ship that's just like falling
Oh
back
my
and
God.
forth. And then
We're
you
beautiful.
finally get it correct, and the engines start to lean backwards, and you go forward. You shoot forward, and you go straight through these parting glass doors, and then they shut immediately behind you, and you're just free falling through space
Woo!
towards Sargasso.
Oh, other way. Nyx, where are we going? Nyx, please. Which way?
I typed in the coordinates. Just hit the autopilot button.
No, that's not a good idea.
go fast enough.
You get the coordinates, and then Aurelia, you pull up harsh, and there's this strong sense of force on your heads as you fight the G's. they say that 80 G forces is enough to kill a man. It's time to test that. As you pull up,
We go 70.
you harshly yank, and you're like sucked into your seats as you pull up, and you launch forward, and these two gigantic engines that form like 50% the mass of the ship start humming with this incredible roar as you start flaring forward through space, and you're looking in your rear view mirror, and behind you you see the disappearing city of Cirrus Station all ablare with red lights and bristling with guns and several ships around it. Off in the distance, as you fly
I can
past
feel my lunch coming up.
as you fly past Jacob Station, you see that the Night Owl, its blue engines and long white body and circular-like bridge that goes around it like a ring, coming to life with lights, and you fly right overhead, blazing speed towards Lunaris's moon. To your left, I don't even know how you'd be able to see this without kind of enhancements, so I'm assuming there's some kind of visual thing going on, but you see the red star.
We have radar?
You don't have radar, but you've got like
Okay.
strong telescopes that like are capable of just looking like good camera lenses. You're zoomed in real nice, and you see
backup
the red
camera?
star, and it sees you.
That's
Does it
good.
go
That's what
towards
we
us?
wanted.
It's beginning its
More
curve.
as far out of this area as possible.
It's massive in its own right, and it seems to be fighting its own mass as it turns around, but it's slow going, and you're blazing fast.
Quick conversation between the boys. Do you guys think that has people manning it, or that it's its own organism?
I think it's got people in it.
What kind
I'm,
of
get,
people?
I'm, I don't know, I'm getting the organism feeling. There's something fucky about
You
it.
wanna-
Everyone doesn't say
You
that,
want to
but
roll history, everybody?
Yeah. I'm thinking it's like I don't think they're people in it anymore. I think they're like zombies or something.
something's weird.
17.
Nick's got it. Don't worry. Nobody else has to roll.
Okay, good.
Artificial intelligence is outlawed. It's banned.
No, I think we know what it is.
That doesn't mean it's not there. It's just illegal.
Oh, maybe it's.
What? What? Oh my
You're
god.
beaming through space, going hundreds of miles an hour, going faster and faster. You're getting sucked into the seats. Once the engines turn on and you just keep them on, you just keep going faster. There is no air to resist your acceleration as you go and you go. And you are heading past the moon to the farthest Lagrange point. We're there.
Aurelio continues his theory.
Quietly.
That's cool.
Unaware that the audience might want to know what the theory is too. But you keep heading forward until you find a very strange structure. A ring. Hundreds of kilometers wide and thick and strange geometries, harsh angles, no beveling.
Oh!
Wait, we have the equivalent of Easy Pass, right?
All paid expenses.
And
And
as you approach, you press the various buttons needed to communicate with this ring, and we won't go over the details because God knows you guys don't have the time right now. Perhaps next time. And you make the approach and you head straight to
it's
the dead
Aurelio,
center of the
Abram,
ring.
and Nick just all screaming into the microphone.
As you scream into the void, as you blaze past the Jacob Station, the moon, and now into this gateway, everything goes dark. Everything goes pitch black, beyond that of just space. As you look behind you into the rearview mirror, the last few images that you see is a blinding red light. The red star looking straight at you, as if it could somehow see you from the thousands of kilometers distance separating your vessel from theirs. And then it's gone. All around you is black. You're alone.
Kind of a lot quieter in space than I thought it would be.
Nick says, well, it's just a straight shot from here.
This is not space. This is the in-between. You cannot go faster than light. This is a shortcut.
Oh. Well, while we're here, Aurelio decides to continue his theory. Anyways, guys. Do you guys remember anything about the war with, you know, all the fucked up people and their crazy genes? Did anyone hear about that?
Yeah.
Can we roll for something?
The genetic wars.
Yeah.
If you want
Well-
like extra information, I guess you can, but you know what you guys know. Like I told you at the beginning, like sessions, like of the background information. But if you want to roll for more, roll history.
Well, Abram just says yes to get this theory going.
Aurelio just kind of like his face kind of like contorts and he kind of looks like he's snarling and he just goes, "I wonder if it's those animals that are killing people and trying to get this ultimate power. God knows they probably already have enough.
Animals?
Freaks of nature, whatever you want to call them."
Genetically modified. It's a little kinder.
Aurelio kind of side eyes her and says, "Yeah, I suppose."
You think they're animals?
From anything that I know, they weren't exactly.
And what is it that you know about them?
I know what I've been told.
And you're not explaining much. Abram is looking at Aurelio quite intensely.
Listen, I know that There are people that have prosthetics and stuff and mess with their body that way. God knows that I'm at fault of that. But there are people that go to extremes. And messing up your genes and changing them is a bit too far-fetched.
The way I see it is that some of it, from what I've heard, is no different than me implanting fiber optics into my scalp so I can change color of my hair. I am indifferent. Would I call them freaks? No.
All I know is that if that war hadn't happened, my family might be better off right now. And it's their damn fault.
I don't think you know anything, Aurelio.
I think I know enough.
There's a
Abram
shuddering.
looks elsewhere. Yeah.
There's a shuddering throughout the ship. A patch of turbulence. And a few things are jostled and shaken. In the back, you feel something fall over.
Nyx gets up and says, I'm gonna go check to see what that was. And she leaves the awkward standoff.
Run, Nyx.
We duel. We pull out our pistols.
God.
Nyx, you walk back through a thin, archway that separates the tiny pilot's area from the rest of the cabin. To your right, you see a small kitchen dinette, a small table with 2 booths on the front and back. You see a small kitchen on the right side if you're facing to the back. To the left, you just have a small open floor space with a few cabinets ahead of you, and then the airlock door that just has space. There's windows on the left and on the right. They're thin, about at head height. They're very thick and also rounded and beveled on the edges rather than harsh corners. However, you look out the windows and up, you see the underside of your own wings, and down, you see nothing. You just see black, endless, and unending. Ahead of you is also a hallway, very thin, no more than maybe 2 feet, 3 feet across. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I think 3 feet across, 3.5 maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna look to see if I can find out what fell.
Okay.
What is this room?
That red door, you push open. You know what? You pull open. And you see a small toilet, a stand-up shower, and a sink with a cabinet. And some glass that is truly affixed to the wall. Like they were very sure that this would be a zero-G environment, and everything is bolted down, or tight spacing, or locked up. Nothing fallen over, though.
Right, I'm gonna check in this room.
You open up the doorway, and you see a small bunk, and something folded up against the wall, which looks like it might be another bunk, so you could have 2 people in here. But the one on the top is folded up to the wall, just having one small bed, and a cabinet on the left, and a cabinet on the right, possible dresser. Very little space, and maybe 1 shelf. Nothing in there. Just a mattress, unadorned. Same with the one
Just
to your
one.
south.
Okay.
It's a mirror of the room above.
Right, I'm gonna look in this one.
You open up and you see what seems to be the master bedroom, quote unquote, which is to say
Gibbs.
it's the biggest bedroom, which is still pretty small. The bed seems to fold out from the right wall. There's a dresser, there's cabinets, there's a closet to your direct right, that's what the small square is, and an end table with a lamp that is literally bolted to the end table. And on top of the bed is all your fucking shit that you have bought and just stowed away. Your stellar quilts, your fucking coffee machines, your everything. Everything that you've bought has just been stacked on this bed in the center of the room.
So happy about that coffee machine.
There's fucking pajamas.
Yeah.
Alright, and did I see anything that, like, fell over, broken?
Yeah, you look on the ground and there's just a pile of fucking provisions, like basic bitch food that's just fallen off because it's just a fucking heap of all your guys' goddamn shit that you've bought over this entire time and have had no inventory space for. It's all just been here. All of it.
Nyx goes over to the cockpit and said, cockpit, not cook. You help me organize this stuff because it's everywhere.
Nyx, you look to your left and you notice there's like a switch, and it seems like the cockpit area can be like sealed off with a sliding door from the rest of the room. The building, even, if you want to call it that.
Nice.
The ship,
Okay.
other people might call
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I go do these things.
Alright, you
I'm gonna
guys
go organize.
begin to adorn and decorate your beautiful, beautiful new ship.
Oh my god.
Aurelio,
Can I put my pajama pants on?
you can absolutely. That's going to take an action, but you can.
Okay.
You can. You take an action.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative. You put on
Pants
your
get to go first.
pajama pants. You have to fight them. They have an AC of 12. You have to use your dexterity bonus. You put on your pajama
Alright,
pants.
so let's get this straight. This is my bedroom.
Oh my god.
Nyx,
Very well.
Nyx is here.
I live here now.
In the corner.
I mean,
On the bed. Far corner behind the bed.
Oh my god.
this is my home now.
Goodbye, Nyx.
All right, she lives there now.
You guys can fight over the two other bedrooms.
Oh my god, they're the exact same thing.
Aurelio's probably just gonna wind up sleeping in the cockpit, so it doesn't even matter.
That second one could be a
Fine.
storeroom.
I own both of them.
Oh my!
I lay across the hallway.
If you open both doors, it creates like a micro hallway linking the two bedrooms.
Yeah.
Your feet are in like one bedroom and your head's in the
Yeah.
other. Your body is across
Nyx
the
is locked in
hallway.
her goddamn bedroom because there's just two fucking doors in the way now.
This family is falling apart. Okay, so I fix up
One of
this
us is
room.
racist. One of them
Uh-huh.
has 2 rooms.
All right.
Nyx grabs one of the
Nyx is
one of the
trapped.
spare pillows and she hands it to Aurelio to put behind his head.
Ah, thank you.
You want a
Thank
stellar
you.
quilt too, Aurelio?
Oh yeah.
All right, you take the third stellar quilt, and
I put that over my parka.
you put it over your parka. And you're getting very
Cozy.
you're sweaty.
Nyx makes all of the beds. Nyx is in blue,
All right,
Abram's in pink, and Aurelio is in orange.
gorgeous.
And that
They look
obnoxious orange, not like a nice,
Not like fluorescent gross orange.
like a fluorescent orange that matches his hair.
Yeah,
God,
gross.
you're disgusting, but that's okay.
I am. I'm disgusting.
Abram.
I mean, my color
And it
scheme is
comes
like
with, like matching
gross
purple,
orange and green.
I
throw
love it.
pillows.
Abram, you walk out into the kitchen with your space coffee maker, and you set it down on the counter.
Yeah, I was just about to say I set that shit up.
Okay, there's like I don't know. There's like on the bottom of the coffee maker, there's like screws that are sticking out of the bottom in two places, and on the kitchen, you see like 2 slots that are the same distance apart as the 2 screws. And like the thing like slides in,
Bolt it down.
and it
Bolt down
just
your coffee
it fucking
maker.
lives there now.
Uh-huh.
It lives right fucking there, right behind the kitchen dinette. And to your left is the refrigerating. And you put in whatever provisions you have, and you count them all out. You seem like the kind of guy who might want to know like how much food you guys have, and it's roughly
I control the food.
it's 2 weeks.
Nobody eats without asking me.
Abram, no.
Written permission.
Aurelio's gonna starve.
Good. I mean, no.
Fucking everybody gets off on their amazing adventure, and then all of a sudden the racism kicks in.
Then
Next.
between really brings it out in people.
Nyx comes out in her brand spanking new PJs that coincidentally our DM actually has a pair of in real life.
It's really
Yeah,
fucking
it's really
weird.
weird.
And it's great. I love it.
I-
And she kind of looks over at Abram and asks like, "Is everything okay? I know it was intense in there."
Aurelio, there is a door that red line separates. It's like a sliding door to block off the cockpit from like the rest of the ship. Do you choose to close that, or has it just been open this entire time?
It's just been open. I don't have a reason to lock
I
anybody
mean,
out.
Nyx did kind of like close the door behind
Okay.
her just so that her making of the beds and everything doesn't disturb the pilot from his concentration, because she cares.
Okay, that makes sense.
Who
Yeah.
cares? Nyx is the only one who cares on this goddamn ship. Abram, Abram, he doesn't face her exactly, but he just kind of like stands there and he's like, people have certain opinions about the genetic war and the genetically modified. Whether everything is alright or not remains to be seen, but I'm not going to do anything if that's what you're worried about.
No. I was just concerned.
About.
Well, you seem to have very strong opinions, and truth be told, I got a little concerned about the two of you maybe fighting, or because we're going to be on the ship for a while.
You do have several hours to go. Perhaps even like a whole, at least a day. Maybe 2. It's strange, actually. These gateways are almost inconsistent in how long it takes sometimes.
And from the looks of it, we're going to be kind of a group for a while. At least until all this business with the orb is over.
It is unfortunate Aurelio feels the way he does.
I'm guessing you had something to do with or you had some involvement in the genetic wars?
Yes, something like that.
I won't make you go any further if you don't want to, but... And she goes over to the coffee maker and just kind of looks at it.
Abram kind of shifts in his spot, like, almost uncomfortable, but then he asks, you are indifferent to genetically modified people?
I see it as no different from myself modifying my eye to heat seek and my hair to change colors with a button on my arm.
Do you know what some of these modifications do to people?
I've heard it makes them go out of control. But if it's simple modifications that don't turn you into a superhuman, I see no reason why it should really matter. It's the person behind the modifications, not the modifications themselves.
He finally looks at Nyx and, like, stares at her for a bit, as if thinking. But he's doing that thing where he stares for too long and probably isn't blinking. Hmm. 1 second. I see. There were some of us who had more than others.
I see.
Don't tell Aurelio.
Your secret is safe with me.
Abram makes himself some coffee.
That is +1 to Constitution and Athletics for the next hour.
Yay.
Is there any
He's gonna fight me.
I powered up. Don't tell Aurelio. I take a potion.
And then you just hear cracking knuckles.
Aurelia's screaming. He knows what's coming. Doesn't know
You
why.
walk in on Aurelio praying.
He's a very religious child.
Is there any hot chocolate in that machine?
Yup.
You can use it to make it.
You didn't buy any goddamn hot chocolate as far as
Don't
I'm
tell me
aware.
what I have for this goddamn machine. I punched the
Isn't
DM.
it like a Keurig?
Roll.
Oh my god.
Oh
We
my
have some instant space hot chocolate.
Roll
Fine.
an unmodified d20.
Okay.
Please don't break my machine. I just got this.
God.
Okay.
You
Oh my God.
destroy. No, you in the box you see 4 trial samples of like hot chocolate, like it's a Keurig machine.
Yes.
We'll have
She
to buy
pops one
some
in and
next
starts to
time.
make herself some hot chocolate.
Oh, and out of character, I will say that Nyx can like, I'm not saying you should, but I'm just saying she could probably ask Abram stuff about it now. He's not gonna say much. Like, on his own. I'm just saying. She's unlocked a heart level.
Oh,
Rank up.
Yeah.
friendship rank acquired.
Yeah.
Have I unlocked like a death level?
A negative.
Like a
no.
plus
Negative.
one,
You're gonna,
like
you're
skull
gonna
and
get the
crossbones.
bad end.
I'm
You're
gonna
get
get
the bad end.
Bad end. But yeah, no, just
I know
Aurelia
it's not
does.
every
Aurelia-
sin there's like a
I
friend.
can't. I'm so upset. I didn't think Aurelia would be the one.
I mean, listen, he comes from a backwoods.
My boy.
Aurelio does put it on autopilot and get out, and he kind of just looks at Nyx and Abram, and
Nyx hands him her mug of hot cocoa.
oh, thank
Oh,
you.
fucking
He
annihilated. Oh god.
he takes a sip. I didn't mean to. I just clicked on it for too long.
She makes herself a second one.
This is a
Aurelia
crit on my
does-
heart.
Does go to the room that he kind of has, but it's really just a place to put his stuff, and he takes like the med kit and the weird orb thing that he found, and he just puts them underneath his mattress
Okay. It
for like safekeeping,
Yeah.
because there's no like shelves or
it
anything.
gives off a faint blue light and has like some
Yeah.
blue steel and regular steel as
He
well.
just doesn't want it like rolling over onto the floor
I
and like
understand.
blowing shit up.
I'm sure there's
So
a
he just
shelf.
puts it there.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, so he's just like, I'll put it here. Well, it won't be affected by gravity. And he comes back out because no drinks in the bedroom. Don't want any spills. That'd be crazy.
I just kind of wanted to establish. I'm pretty sure they've seen that as well. So the whole,
Oh,
the whole
I don't
party.
care if they see it or anything.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want to. I'm not going to put it in
In-
the cockpit with me.
In the future, I can already hear someone being like, "But do we know about that? I thought we didn't know about." And the answer
Hell yeah,
is yes.
they should all.
yeah.
They should all know about it. I'm just putting
That's
that
all.
shit away so it doesn't blow up or anything.
Who knows?
No. Is this a table? By the way, and, like chairs.
The triangles are chairs. The blue triangle is a table.
I just sit down for a little bit because
All right, you take a seaty.
I'm in autopilot and we're in the middle of nowhere. So
The definition of nowhere is where you are.
I was gonna say, yeah, this.
I think we do need to
place
stop
is kind
now
of
though,
freaky.
because it's 9:40.
I do agree. Floating through the emptiness of black, inky nothingness. I don't even want to say space, because that's not where y'all are.
Actually, first before we stop, DM, I'm gonna send you a private message via Discord.
Okay. Well, I mean, alright. Alright, send it to me. Send it to me. I'm waiting. I'm thirsty. I'm like a hungry bird. Mouth open, waiting.
Please stop.
It'll be really good.
Oh, I sent you a message on Discord too.
Oh, I definitely saw that one.
Okay,
The one
good.
that says that you wanted to romance Councilor Mira.
God.
No.
Alright, Nyx looks up from her hot chocolate and says, "So, anyone excited to visit the planet of Backleads?"
I'm sorry, what was your question? I completely misunderstood it.
What?
Are you asking where you're going, or what that other place was called?
I was asking what that planet was called because those were the coordinates that she gave.
I see.
Oh. Oh, slow. Okay.
I've got a parka that's built just for it.
Why are there two?
Ouch.
I think at this point we should probably establish that I got a DM asking, "Hey, what was that icy planet called again?" And I sent her the name of that icy planet because I thought she was talking about her like various places that she's been, and
I think
that's
it's a
not the
moon.
one that she was. Yeah, we were talking about two different places.
Oh.
Are we going to the moon?
Well, I was okay with going to either one.
Well, you're going to Slow.
Yeah.
If that's where you were
Okay.
trying to. That was the place that was seen on the map by Captain Azura.
Slow, 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 slow.
Though you did see other
How many
places.
people can I be racist to there?
She,
Hundreds.
Please,
said-
God.
she
100.
says, so who's excited to go to Slow?
Aurelio just kind of like huddles more into his parka and he's going, I've never been to anywhere cold, but
Oh, you're gonna enjoy yourself.
Aurelio kind of gives like a half-hearted laugh and just like curls up in the parka.